Nuevo vídeo de el Divinity este de los juegos. Continuar. Y lo que nos espera ahora es parloteo y parloteo. Tenemos que hablar con un montón de gente a ver qué coño pasa. Que no sé, que para ser un prisionero estoy como muy a mi aire, ¿sabes? No entiendo muy bien qué está pasando. Así que vamos a ver. También por lo visto hay un asesinato, no sé cuánto de importante es el asesinato. Parece relevante en realidad. No le encuentro el porqué,
As
pero...
soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hand you right over the side of this ship with it. I'm busy watching for clues, sorcerer. Go take your sub-story somewhere else.
Es que no sé por qué... Y aquí no puedo estar.
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench, eyes closed, palms face up on his knees. His beard is a cascade of meticulous plaits, each one braided through with golden medallions. He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't open...
Listen up, boy. You hear that?
There has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magisters more concerned than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy
The
with me
ship,
when you clearly
of
don't know
course.
the first thing about sauce.
His eyes snap open. He looks...
Murder? Ah, that's what they were going on. I wouldn't know anything about it. I kill a man. He knows who done it. His daddy knows who done it. And the mayor knows.
His eyes flutter shut, and he assumes his position of repose once more.
Whether they catch me is another matter. But I ain't one to hide my accomplishments.
Never thought you'd end up a...
Did you see the body? They ought to let you taste a bit. Maybe you'd find out who done it.
Huh?
Your kind always hung closest to the divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hand you right over the side of the
Maestría de
ship.
vida. Fuente bloqueada.
Well, well. What have we here? A fresh face in this stale hell. Let's size you up.
The lizard looks you up and down, like a farmer would a fetching horn. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own.
I'm inspecting your teeth, in case that wasn't spectacularly obvious. There's some discoloration, but I've seen worse. After all, one can't expect to find prime merchandise on a squalid little ship like this. Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you cook?
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
Te digo.
That right?
Ay.
You turn out rotten, Ben Nest.
Creo que lo inteligente es seguirle un poco la corriente. Porque soy prisionero, no por otra.
You've got
Pero este también es prisionero. ¿Qué me estás contando? Mira este. Este es prisionero.
Goodness gracious me, what a bore. Off with you. Quite clearly, you wouldn't...
Vete por ahí, bicharraco. Este es prisionero también.
I spent my life singing for my slaves to bring me my supper. Finer fare than boiled roots and rotten tubers, too. Meanwhile, the Magisters feast on honeyed meat behind this very wall.
It was one of them. I know it.
Vale, me falta... esta gente. Aquí hay un grupo de esclavos.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that
Do you know Losa? She's a really good singer. I'm better though. Listen. La la la.
Cállate.
You look a little bit elfish. Maybe your daddy was an elf. My daddy's name is Frida.
Ah, there you are. Husband.
¿Cómo?
Would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not-at-all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this loca woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly allergical.
Venga, un poco de contacto femenino.
How very correct you are, spouse of mine. Madame Josephine Gribbles de Peeb refuses to be confused with anyone else. What? What's so funny?
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the children away from her with a laugh.
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and git, and maybe I'll sing you something when I'm good and ready.
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired, and smiles flatly.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we?
Con esta, no con esta, ¿no?
Guess you aren't a creative type, are you, Chief? I say they're one and the same. Thanks, but I already belong to an elite and exclusive ship gang. We play ball every day after lunch. You're too soft for it. You take care, though. Nope. Trying not to find anything out, either. Ignorance is bliss. The utterer, the better.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. Greyish veins run down her face, and her mouth tightens into a cruel sneer. As quickly as they came, the clouds clear. She smiles as though no change came over her.
Good luck, Chief.
Esta así es un poco rara.
Please, please, please.
Be good, you scallywags.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
Name?
They don't care about us. We're like...
Well, you aren't here on my list. Scram, eh? We're trying to catch a killer here.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I read?
The elf is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He looks up, his big round eyes scanning your body, absorbing every detail. He reaches out and examines your face, tugging at your ears and prodding your nose.
Fascinating.
He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence.
It is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. I know the beginning of this tale and the end, but I am rather... Tell me, what do you know of our world's history?
Mi mundo es el tuyo. De hecho, mi personaje está basado en el suyo. He cogido como base este personaje. Decir que los recuerdos del pasado son valiosos para tu gente. Al menos lo eran hasta que destruyeron vuestro hogar.
Oh, please. I have no interest in that. Your books are too full of it already. No. I want to know about the Celestial. I want to know about your gods. This text tells me that they created all creatures, but nothing of what came before. Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where are the others of their kind? Of course you don't have any useful information. Why did I expect anything else? Now please, run along. I have a world to decipher.
No amount of pestering will get the elf to take his eyes off his book or respond to your questions.
Se la pela.
Here to register, sir. Good, good. Magister Williams is just about done with the last. You faring okay so far? Of course I do. Seems Voidwoe can dog your heels like a shadow. That's no way to live, is it? You'll see. We're gonna help you. You head on in now. Williams will get you sorted.
Lad,
Gente, voy
Standing at the
rápidamente.
center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated by an officer.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you straight.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God! The woman's mad! You there! Sorcerer! Go and fetch Magister Siwan! We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
Que la polla, ¿y qué pasa? Es que dirigiste a la hechicera de la fuente, tal que quiso decir con hay otras personas cuya vida debe...
It means your journey draws to a close. Do stick around for its finale, though, because...
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Ah,
Subdue
vale.
her, men, quickly! If she casts source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precisely.
Ah, vale. ¿Quién me ha matado? No.
What's happened?
Para destacar objetos. Destacar objetos. Bien. Este botón. Opciones. Opciones. Controles. Resaltar. Ha dicho Alt izquierdo. Alt izquierdo. Mostrar consejos del mundo. No. Terminar turno. Bla bla bla. Guardar, fijar, dividir. Es que... Abrir, abrir, no. Dice... Yo, alejar, centrar, cámara, cámara. Es resaltar. Resaltar personaje. No. Les dice que aquí, ¿no? ¿Y yo? No sé. Lo suyo es tenerlo en el ratón, ¿sabes? ¡Ay! ¿Qué he hecho? Bueno, iba ahí a... No sé cómo es. Pero voy a lootear a esta gente. Varita improvisada. Aumenta con inteligencia. Lo cojo, pero no lo equipo. Hostia. Pincho. Aumenta con fuerza. 150% del daño crítico. Esto... Ay, combinar. ¿Con qué? ¿Qué? Esto quiero que te lo equipes. Esto es que es muy bueno, ¿eh? Vale. Vale. Voy a forzar a atacar. Ande, va a la puerta y yo no tiene vida, ¿vale? Tiene más nivel que yo. Tengo que mirar inventario. Y esto va por flecha, que yo creo que no. Pero claro, me queda aquí esta mañana, ¿sabes? Por esta mierda. 127. No hay un botón de... No es el... No se hace así. Es que da igual, para arriba. Copa de oro, para mí. Control izquierda para abrir la puerta, Carla. Ah. Esta puerta es más asequible. Tío, ¿qué pasa esta gente? Maestre Rix. F5. Yo a esta gente debería de matarlo. ¿Sabes qué te digo? El perro está cheto, ¿eh? Dios puta, el perro. Ajá. ¿Y esto? Vale. F5. Le voy a atacar de una. Si le hablo no pasará nada. Pero... ya, voy a aprovechar que está liar taco para intentar escaparme. ¡Hostia! Maceo con uno de movimiento. Equípatelo. Ocho. ¿Cuánta? Dame la J, ¿no? Ahí. ¿Cuántos años hace esto? Entre 5 y 6. Entre 5 y 6. Yo hago un 15% más. Entonces miedo a mí. 95. Vale, contra el negrito. 2 PA. 2 PA. ¡Ah! 6 de vida. Ah, porque tiene... Vale. Cállate. Examinar. Armadura. Ahora absorbe el daño físico. Siempre que tu armadura física sea superior a 0, serás inmune a estado físico como hemorragia o derribado. A ver. Quiere decir que él tiene 6 de vida. Y yo hago así. Le quito 7, pero en realidad le ha quitado 7 de escudo. Claro. Vamos a probar un poquito de sigilo. ¡No! Ha avanzado. Además, ¿cuánto? Muerto. El combate funciona raro de cojones. Ah, no me da ni la movida esa.
Bishop Alexander, if Lucian were alive, what would he think of his son's divine order?
And you thought Riverrun was flat?
Damn it! Need to get off this wreck quick.
Tantos tiezos, tío. Ten cuidado, te lo digo. Me los pone como buenos. Yo no entiendo mucho qué está pasando. Yo no entender.
Something's pounding on the hull.
Bueno, llega.
The marking on the door was painted recently, judging from its pungent scent. You recognize the symbol immediately for what it is. You press your palm against the door to open it. The wood feels neither cold nor warm, but simply grey. The color drains from your hand, and you are left numb. It doesn't budge. The door groans open, but an ashen shadow clouds your mind.
Mira, letal, muere instantáneamente para los vivos. Oh.
Death fog. I need to get out of here now.
¿Qué pasa? Tengo un poquito de armadura. Y este tonto, hermano. ¿Qué sigue leyendo? Ay, no, aquí.
You pass through the door and are suddenly face to face with an undead. His skull is bizarrely angular. The skeleton is quickly leafing through a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia.
No. What damn fools record knowledge? It catches fire. It turns into must when wet. It cannot even resist acid.
The skeleton looks up and notices you for the first time.
Oh, it's you. Shouldn't you be running and screaming or some such?
The skeleton groans and looks back to his book, frantically flipping from page to page.
Yes, indeed. It's the look of someone that wants to read the bloody book he's holding. Now, if you're really quite finished, I believe you have lifeboats to flee to. Please, I was no more an elf than you are those rags you're wearing. I had a mask, rather ingeniously designed, which allowed me to take that primitive form. A mask that was stolen by that damned witch after her little... Still, she'll drown with the rest of these fools, and I will simply pluck my mask from her cold, dead hands. Remember, one of your race's weaknesses is having your lungs filled with water until you can no longer breathe. So, try to avoid that, perhaps.
The skeleton resumes his search, leafing through page after page, while hunching over the book in a futile attempt to keep it dry.
Vale. ¡Ah, un kraken! ¡Ja, ja, ja, ja! ¿Qué es este bicho? Mojado. A ver, inventario. No vaya para matarlo, ¿eh? Siete. Vale. Qué hijo puta, ¿eh? Vale. No quise envenenarme, así que vamos para adelante. Voy a rolear, paso del tema.
Shut your trap, kid. Children and dwarfs first, just like the old...
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes, to no avail.
You said there were other people down there.
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time for getting the hell out of here.
But wait! There's still people down there!
¡Vámonos! Ahí está la loca.
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard, now presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Oriven.
El sistema de combate es... Por PEA no me gusta a mí, tío. Voy a por la merienda. Lo puedo haber hecho antes, ¿verdad? ¿Cuánto tiempo llevamos grabando? Oh. Media horita. Vengo en un plis-plas. ¿Cuánto ha pasado? 33. 2 minutos, tío. Bueno, empezamos. No sé qué he hecho. Como en el otro juego, en el Baldur's Gate 3. En una playita. Esto me llama la atención. Vale, pensaba que era un cofre. No sé. La concha de tu prima. Yo. ¿En serio? ¿Niñato de mierda? ¿Y yo cómo hago eso? Joder.
The child has a small mirror in his hands. He holds it up at angles, inspecting his eyes, his chin, the crown of his head. He spots you and his arms snap to his sides.
I'm not supposed to talk to elves. Well, elves eat people and their pets. Elves don't know the alphabet.
The child's eyes grow wide.
People ask you to eat them?
Estoy flipando.
Really? Are you a sorcerer? One of those guys that brings the bad void things here?
The child looks at you straight on, unafraid, searching your face. He lifts his mirror to his nose, closes one eye, and looks at himself.
I don't see any source on you or me. I guess they're wrong. Or crazy. No one cares where I go. They know I can't leave the island. It's nicer out here than inside anyway. They're gone now. The Magisters took them already. I guess now they're cured. And maybe they're waiting for me back at home. But you didn't die. There isn't anywhere safer. That's what I mean. You'll see. Guess I am, but it's just normal to be scared. Nowhere isn't scary. You can stay out here with me if you want. You don't seem that scary.
I thought the Order would get rid of any trace of the old Source King. This won't be of any use.
$24 de vida es una pila, ¿eh? Es una puta... ¡Ojo!
Those are the same beasts that sank our ship. Damn. They made it to shore.
Se puede craftear cosas. Entiendo. Flechas de fuego. Punta de flecha de fuego. Este va a ser el ítem difícil de conseguir. El crítico es un 150. Es que... no sé, no veo... Claro, los muertos niñatos. De daño crítico. Entiendo que 100% es de 4 o 5 daños. Entonces a lo mejor a lo poco tiene 6 de daño, ¿no? La daga. La daga tendría menos. Tendría 5 de daño. Si funciona como yo digo. Puto niñato de mierda. Es que me da un CA, un punto que diga. Qué movida. 400. A ver, subo de nivel y me entero de algo más. Me voy a alejar al máximo. Es que es la única mecánica que se me puede ocurrir. No sé cómo quiere que use el entorno, la verdad. Venga, 2 y 2. Golpe crítico, 10 de daño. Está muy chulo, ¿eh? Turno 1. Turno hace 8 6 de daño. Ah, pero no te dice el por qué. Por 10 de daño. Vale. Mi arco. ¿Cómo veo mi arco? Para entender un poquito, ¿sabes? De 5 a 6. No te dice nada del crítico. Si son 150 como las otras, podría ser, ¿no? Porque 6. Mira, daño crítico, un 150%. Según el móvil, ¿cuánto es? Es que eso me raya, no sé si es un 100% más. Es que, tío, que no vaya por dado me marea la cabeza, ¿eh? Pongamos 6 por 150%. Me da 9. Que claro, es lo que yo estoy diciendo. 6, el 50% es 3, pues sería 6 y 3. Que ya esos 10 no tiene ningún sentido. Ya empezamos mal, ¿eh? Y 5 igual. O sea, tú pones 5 por 150%, ya te da coma. Entiendo que en este juego no se puede hacer un número que no sea entero, ¿sabes? Un número decimal. En fin. Movida rara, yo no entiendo nada. Es literalmente imposible que haya hecho 10 de daño. 7. 8. ¿Cómo he hecho 8? Pues no lo sé. 7. 6. Ah.
I thought these bloody collars were supposed to keep those things at bay. Drowned and eaten by a voidwoken. I wonder in which order.
Hostia, mira este. No lo he visto, ¿eh? ¡Ah, el príncipe rojo! ¿Qué te cuenta, guacho?
You spot a strange lizard gazing over the water with a steady, malcontent stare. His skin is of a bright... Yes, you recognize him from the ship. It would seem you're not the only one who survived the tentacles of the deep. The lizard turns about with the graceful ease of a dancer, or a duelist. You lock eyes with his, two smouldering embers that sizzle your very...
You're glad, are you? How very curious. For word has reached me through a very sour grapevine indeed, that you turned your back on your fellow passengers. Left us to fend for ourselves.
Oh, qué chivato de mierda, ¿qué quiere que te diga? Mira
So
este.
much easier, isn't it, to look out for oneself alone? Sorry is a word for the weak. Stand by your actions. They were actually entirely just. Besides, I wasn't fishing for an apology. I was merely making a point. About oneself. So, if there's nothing further... I'm sure I don't mean to sound condescending, but I had thought it quite self-evident I was gazing out over...
He sighed
dramatically. Tell me, what do you see when you cast your glance over this ocean? Memories. Quite.
He looks out over the water once more, and so do you. A few tranquil moments pass as the waves lap against...
As for myself, when I consider this vast expanse before us, I see continents dotted with mighty cities. And shimmering along the soft curve of the sea's horizon, I picture the palaces that formed my paradise. Lost. What do you mean? What do I mean? I mean just what I say. I had a very actual empire that I...
Suddenly, having all the air of being deeply offended, he stares at you with utter incredulity.
Well, don't just stand there gawking like an ape at an abacus. Or do you really mean to tell me you don't know who I am? Well, more's the damn pity, isn't it? For I am the Red Prince. The All-Conqueror, the World-Tamer. Of course you know me.
There's a brief moment's pause, during which his grandiloquent pose deflates.
That said, I suppose I must own up to the fact that I find myself rather in between All-Conqueror. The grandeur that is my fate has hit a bit of a snag. But never you worry. For the throne I was destined, and my throne I shall have. Truly. A kind offer indeed. Even if it comes from the very person that left me. You do look able, though. Despite your selfish tendencies. Fine. For reasons I'll not disclose right now, it is imperative that I should meet with a dreamer. One of the mystics of my kind. I've reason to believe one of them may be present on this island. Promise me we'll look for him, and I'll extend you the blessing of my company.
A ver, yo ya no tengo más nada que hacer. Quitarme el collar, quizá, y poco más.
Jolly good. So, now that that's settled, first things first. Even if you are as versed in the art of eloquence as I am, that our swords will be doing a lot of the talking from here on out goes without saying. As a born fighter, I prefer the perfection of the blade myself. But I'm well acquainted with the secrets of magic, and yes, even subterfuge. What say you?
Como luchador nato que soy, prefiero la protección de la espada. Pero conozco los secretos de la magia. Y si también los subterfugios, ¿qué me dices? Este puede ser lo que sea, entiendo. Pues... un luchador. Quiere ser fiel a su vocación.
Very well. Onwards then to victory or death.
The Red Prince nods and gives you a smile that wavers ever so delicately between courtesy and contempt.
Now, as you're aware, you'll be travelling with a prince. Proper forms of address include Your Majesty, Your Royal Highness, or if you're feeling particularly frivolous, Milord.
Qué pesado, tío.
As your luck would have it, I seem to be fresh out of luggage, so you won't be required to carry my belongings. Of course, there are other forms of protocol to bear in mind, but I'll see to it you'll pick up the rest as we go. So, without further ado...
Que de momento no va a seguir, pero me está tocando la polla, la verdad.
A black cat.
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey, but it stares at you with acute intensity. Its eyes clear, and it shakes its head, confused.
Otra casi.
Hey, mister. It's a lot nicer here than that stinking... Sure wish you'd gone back to save... Though, I did see one of them wringing out their tunic at the shore a few hours ago. So I guess some of them...
Esta gente no sé qué se piensa, ¿sabes? Y yo, que me ahogo, que me quito en medio. No, es que no me ha rescatado, es que no sé qué. Yo te pido tu opinión.
I told her
Ay,
I'd
aquí.
known exactly. Didn't I?
Aquí pone que son buenos, pero yo aquí no me acercaba ni a harto vino, ¿vale? Eso no. Porque son... Tienen el mismo uniforme que los malos que nos han secuestrado. Así que no. Yo creo que pasa este, mira este. Ah, no soy yo. Es... Ah, el gato este lo está siguiendo.
What's this? I found something. Where this leads.
¡Hostia!
As the alcove opens up, you see the same skeleton that you met on the boat before it sank. He's leaning over a corpse, prodding and pulling at...
Bugger. How on earth am I supposed to...
Skeletal fingers reach down and grip the skin of the dead man's face, pulling sharply upwards. After a few more tugs at the man's cheeks, the skeleton relents, letting the head drop to the ground with a damp thud.
Damnation. That stuck fast. I wonder, does the beard act as some form of anchor? Ah! No! Oh, it's you. I must admit I'm surprised. Perhaps you're more buoyant than I suspected. It seems the human that stole my mask was rather more resourceful than I gave her credit for. I chased her here, but she rather seems to have given me...
He turns back to the body, prodding at its face cautiously.
Oh, yes. An exceptionally common, but exceptionally valuable commodity. A face that seems rather stubbornly attached to his... I would normally employ a tool to delicately but viciously rip the face from the body. I could then craft a mask to hide my bone. But as I lack such a tool...
The skeleton grabs the corpse by the cheeks and pulls hard, grunting in frustration as the body's skin holds firm.
Él hace esta máquina para hacerse pasar por humano. Luego... Me cae bien este gacho, ¿eh?
Oh, don't be ridiculous. I have important things to do on Reaper's Coast. I cannot simply sit about waiting for the rest of you to die so I may continue my business in peace. No. I may be an eternal, but my patience has its limits. Indeed. I may be the only eternal, at least from this realm. As for the others... well... there is an excavation site at the Black Pit's oil fields. Perhaps there I'll find my answers. A companion? After you left the others to die on that ship?
Otro igual.
Hardly actions that instill confidence. Then again, I am somewhat isolated here. I suppose, circumstances being what they are, it could be you seem more at ease in this world than I. A guide would certainly be excellent. While we are conversing, perhaps you notice that I am rather... Of course, the arcane arts are my little speciality. But being a brilliant wizard does not mean I cannot handle blade or bow. So, which do you require for this enterprise of yours?
Con un po' de músculo. ¿Se va a reír de mí?
I could do that with one hand behind my spine. Now, shall we get... Splendid. Very well.
Y aquí, ¿cómo funcionan los tiers y todo? Vale. No se llega. Guacho. Tampoco. Es que no se puede saltar ni nada, ¿no? Cago en la puta, tío.
You hear a small whimpering sound from behind a basket. You peer behind it and find a small human child holding her knees and trembling.
The
child quiets and seems comforted by your presence. She looks up at you with curious eyes.
There are monsters here. Lizard ones and real ones. It's really scary. And I miss my ma and pa. How do you know?
¿Cómo no sabe? Decir que sí, decir que no.
You're really nice. I like you. You can have this. I found it outside, but I can't read it yet.
The child smiles. She starts tracing small shapes, hearts and...
Grab a bottle of air.
Ah, habilidades innatas. ¿Qué va a dar ñata esto? No va a dar nada. Bueno, gente, lo dejamos por aquí. Todavía el juego le falta un poquito de chicha. El combate hay que entenderlo poquito a poco. El próximo día subimos de nivel y vemos si entendemos algo. Que no vaya por dado. El daño es de 5 a 6. Pero creo que como al principio me puse... Que no tiene mucho sentido. Pero creo que como me puse... tener, si no recuerdo mal, a lo muchísimo un 15% más de daño, creo que eso no se refleja. Entonces es un ponte que un 6 más el 15%, y ahora todo eso, como dice crítico, súmale el 50% y súmaselo a ese 100%. Dándote resultado 10. Puede ser, puede ser, puede ser. Esa es la única explicación que tiene. Pero luego está haciendo un 9 que es sin crítico. No tiene sentido. Porque ya son 3 de daño más. Yo hablo mucho, el 15% de 6 es que es una mierda. Es que no llega a 1. Es que no llega a 1. Raruno. El juego está muy, muy raruno. Quizá, como no tengo sabiduría, que deberemos ver el esqueleto. Como no tengo sabiduría, no veo que tenga como una debilidad, y esa debilidad es lo que hace que tenga más daño. Y para mí no tiene nada, pero realmente tiene esa debilidad. Si es así, el juego tiene un plus. El juego me gusta. Eso me mola. No lo sé. No lo sé. Lo comprobaremos en próximos capítulos. Nos vemos como siempre en la próxima. Chao, chao.